So this is Max. He is our, I can't believe he's 10.
I know.
Our 10-year-old gray wolf. So wolves are so incredible. They're so important to that ecosystem. They're considered keystone species, which means just being them, they provide life to so many other species. So these guys, they can hear a man up to 10 miles away. They can smell a man up to a mile away. Their bite force is pretty dang hard. There's been some debate on whether their actual bite force, the actual PSI, so I don't want to say that until I've done a little more research on that.
There's a lot of myths.
Yes, there's a lot of myths out there, and we have to pick through all that information and make sure we find credible information before we actually give it to you.
Are you that excited? How long do wolves live?
See, in the wild, oh, I'm sorry, Mamas, he pushed me. They live about 2 to 6 years, but in captivity, they can get up to 18, 19 years old. Gray wolves are bigger, so they tend to only live about 14, 15.
Are you, go ahead.
But gray wolves, they are basically, I don't want to say it, top dog. There are 38 different subspecies of that gray wolf, so they all come off of this, and that includes the British Columbia black wolf, that includes your domesticated dog, our Arctic wolves. But with new DNA testing, they're actually figuring out there's not 38 different subspecies, there's only 4. There's not enough genetic difference between the different subspecies to consider that many different subspecies. So our British Columbia black wolves are actually going to be classified as gray wolves, the black variation. Huh.
So, sorry. Are you afraid that they're going to turn aggressive on you?
No. He's just a very talkative, grumbly guy. He's my boy and always gets very, very excited. Wolves are great because they do give you multiple warnings before they do turn on you. And if you don't listen to those warnings, it's kind of your fault.
Oh, yeah, it is. Why do they have collars?
So these guys have collars because they like to go for walks. We actually transfer them from an enclosure to enclosure because this is our big day run. So all our wolves get a chance to come out here, run some of that energy off. These guys are in here most of the time just because they're old and they deserve it.
They're getting near the end of life.
They are, and this is when I kind of start spoiling our animals.
To an extreme. They're always spoiled, but this is like, well, I gave Max 3 ground beef balls, and I only gave them 2 because...
Hey, you deserve an extra. Oh, you mean you have that T-bone steak? There's 2 of them?
That was for him. How old are they?
So Max is 10 years old. Kokoa is 14. You show him all your strength. You show him.
You spread that scent, little buddy.
So that kickback isn't to cover their
Arju's
scent.
good.
They actually spread it.
Oh, you're so talkative. You're so ferocious.
They do bicker over that attention, as you can hear. So these guys, let's just talk about it. The trophic cascade. So the trophic cascade basically shows how life is, all of life, all the environment is affected by one particular thing. So you have your top down and your bottom up trophic cascade. One of the most studied top down trophic cascades is in Yellowstone. So due to centuries of eradication, the U.S. only had about 668 wolves left in the Minnesota area. Yellowstone was devastated. They had no apex predators in there. So back in '95, we decided to put wolves back where we took them out. So we took some wolves from Canada, we put them into Yellowstone. Now, 5 years later is when we truly saw the difference of what wolves can do. Due to no predators, your ungulate populations, your deer, your elk, your moose, your bison were overgrazing the park. There wasn't suitable habitat for any other creature. And those ungulates are actually starving out in the wintertime because they don't really regulate themselves when it comes to expanding that population. So there wasn't even food for them. Within 5 years, these guys are able to control that population size, keep them to certain areas of the park. Now, the rivers in Yellowstone really weren't rivers. They were more like mud flats because there was no vegetation to stabilize that riverbanks. Now, with the ungulates to a certain area of the park and population numbers brought down, vegetation was finally able to start growing, which stabilized those riverbanks, which allowed clean running water to run through Yellowstone for the first time in so many years. Now, with that, brought back beavers, songbirds. It even brought back the grizzly bears, because believe it or not, grizzly bears, yes, they can hunt, but they're more of the scavenger type hunting. So they will actually go and eat off the carcasses when wolves are done with things. So even those apex predators were wiped out of Yellowstone when we took the wolves out. So these guys really bring balance into nature, and they're really important.
Are you concerned about them getting the chain stuck in each other's mouths?
No.
They don't wrestle like dogs, guys. They don't do that whole Chihuahua. They don't do that. Their collars are also so loose on them that they can just literally just pull right off. So this is the only way that they'll just come right off.
And these guys are older, so their playtime really isn't a thing.
Yeah, what you just saw, that's as good as it gets.
The extent of it, huh? Now these guys, I was talking about ungulates regulating their population size. They don't do it. Ungulates just continue breeding until there's not enough food and the mom dies out. Wolves, they don't do it consciously, but biologically, if there's not enough resources for them to carry for puppies, they will skip ovulation that year. So they really do regulate their own population.
You tell him, Coco. You tell him. Those are your attentions. Mama. So our 14-year-old girl is that girl right there, and then this is our 10-year-old boy. No, the collars don't pull on their fur.
No.
We actually pay for quality collars versus you do get what you pay for when it comes to collars and stuff with dogs. So we only have the best for them. So and that's very important when you're looking at collars for your dogs.
That was my foot you took over. So Max is my main.
No. He's trying to tip over the garbage can.
Oh my god, a little Chihuahua.
How long do they live in the wild and captivity?
So in the wild, they live 2 to 6 years. It's kind of a harsh life out there. In captivity, you can get them up to 18, 19 years old. Your grays tend to live more about that 14, 15, just because they are larger. What's weird is all canines, the larger they are, the shorter their lifespan. And they don't know why. Physiologically, they should be able to live as long as an elephant and things like that, but they don't.
It really makes sense that the wolves would be the thing to help regulate wildlife.
Exactly. All apex predators do. And even your singular blade of grass, that actually is a bottom-up trophic cascade. Without that grass, there's no ungulates, which means there's no wolves. So it goes back and forth. They all have to they work with each other to create that perfect ecosystem. Sadly, we think we know what's best, and we mess with it, and we've learned time and time again to just not mess with the ecosystem. Let it do what it does.
How many species and subspecies of wolves do we have?
So, like we have here on the property?
Yeah.
We have 3 different species. We have our gray wolves, and we have our Arctic wolves, and we have our British Columbia black wolves here, which with new DNA testing, technically our black wolves will be listed as gray wolves with black variation, but our Arctic wolves are still going to be that subspecies.
Says don't fix something that isn't broken.
Exactly.
We break it, and then they have to fix it.
It's like me when I go, Jeremy. I tried.
Fix it, please. Fix it. I broke it. Max, you're being super lovey today. Yes, you are.
Mama, come here.
We do. We love wolves too. Our goal is to teach people of how essential these guys are in the ecosystem. Just like snakes, everything plays a part in the ecosystem.
They do. I may not be fond of snakes, but they are very important.
Yeah.
Spiders, I let them live.
Now, I used to not. Before it was just like, oh, spider, kill it. Now that I've been working in conservation and stuff for so long, now I'm a little bit more friendly.
If it's in my bedroom in the middle of the night, it dies.
Yeah, true. I mean, that.
But the rest of the time, I have always just like, go out.
Holly, there's always an exception to the rule.
There is. So this guy is, look at all that hair, is dying because he doesn't have this anymore from guests.
I know, he misses it.
17 months of being neglected.
No guests coming through.
It's like when the propane guy shows up, he gets super excited. He's like, someone new.
Did they come yet today?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was at the top of my head, so that's what popped up.
Yeah, we want to thank Feral Gas for always being so kind to us and giving us a little bit of a discount on the propane, but it still is about $2,800 to fill our tank today. So, does the county realize the harm that they're causing the animals with not allowing visitors?
So, unfortunately, conservation starts young, and if you don't get that conservation young, you don't realize the harm you're doing. That's the only excuse I can give to them because they don't really know what's going on.
Right. There is a process too that has to be had when it comes to permitting and county and all that kind of stuff. And though we've been brought through the ringer, in my opinion, quite a bit, I don't think that, yeah, it is a lot of money. I don't necessarily think it was intentional, but I don't know. So
we're trying to stay positive here.
We are trying to stay positive. Is it because you matter?
What we're doing is so important because studies have shown conservation starts young. So if you're in your early 20s trying to learn about conservation, unless you're truly passionate about it, you're not going to think twice. But when you're younger and you learn about it, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. It's something you learned. Hi, Mom.
Look at this. So she's losing. She might bite Holly, but this is...
She won't hi, Mom. She'll lick me to death, but she hi.
You're gonna cause drama.
And that's when I get up because she likes to step on him.
Hi, bud. Her tail is shedding so bad.
Have fun with Dad. Did you step on him? Did you step on him? Thank you. Thank you.
She does this new thing though where she does try to like flea bite your face.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Oops. Hi. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a hunter, but I was also brought up. Yeah, okay, so we be very, very, very clear. We are not against our hunters.
Nope, not at all.
Do you want to go into that of how hunters are one of the biggest contributors to conservation? Yeah.
Trophy hunting, I'm not too fond of, but when you're hunting to feed your family, because I have uncles who hunt, and trust me, when they offer me some venison, I jump on that.
Yes, we're doing the 5K matching right now. We're just trying to enjoy the day with animals and not beg for money today.
Can I get that out of your eye? Thank you. There we go. It's out of your eye now.
No, it won't hurt them to pluck them at all. The hair is dead. You can actually see the discoloration in the tail. It literally just falls out. It just needs that little extra help you can see on that side. Kokoa.
In the wild, they'd be actually rubbing up against trees and rocks and things to get that winter coat off.
Come here, love bug. Can I pluck that right there? It's driving me crazy. Can I pluck right here? It's driving me nuts. Yeah, so you guys can... She's trying to ruin Max's fun. Anyway, Holly and I are going to take a quick recess here. We're going to take a quick break. There's Holly plucking right in the wind direction. Blow the other way, please, wind. Go. She needs it done. It's fine. Yeah, see, it just comes. There's no pulling it. It literally just comes out.
I just hold it and she walks away. You can go see your mama.
Yeah, if they don't have animals, they will overpopulate and starve to death. That's very accurate. But here's what's happening right now. Because we are taking out all the predators, we are allowing things to become overpopulated to where the hunters can't keep up. And when the hunters do get their kill, the meat's
not quality.
Yeah, the meat's bad.
It's something they can't eat. Where these guys, when they did that reintroduction program into Yellowstone, they noticed they were only targeting a certain part of this herd. And when they finally got some carcasses,
She doesn't dig at all anymore.
Huh?
Go ahead. I'm just answering questions while you do it.
They did some DNA testing and found out that particular part of the herd had a bone cancer. These guys could smell it and were taking it out of that herd. They literally make the ungulate herds stronger by going after the old, the sick, the weak, and the young. Whereas a hunter, you just like, oh look, there's one, and you shoot it and you don't know if it's sickly or if it's good. So there's studies done where if there's apex predators, hunters typically get better quality kills when they're hunting. Whereas if there's no apex predators, it's a gamble. You don't know if you're going to get a sickly one or if you're going to get a good one.
So when we come back, guys, we are going to have an alligator for you. We will be back in about 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So join us then. I'm going to have my salad, and then we will be back at it. So we'll see you here in about a half hour, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.